that's it. It's started now. Right, I think that last week was just a prelude, in which we just wandered through and did the first scene, which I remember rightly. Most of you are from the West Coast. 2 of you worked for the Prince as what was it? Your sort of not enforcers. You sort of go and find people for them and knock them off, and you've got letters.
I'm trying to become a hound.
That's it. 2 hounds. Who have nice letters from the Prince of, I think it was San Francisco. The Scourge of San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah, you both worked for the Scourge. The Malkavian sort of tags along, generally, was it being evil to anybody and everybody.
Sounds alright.
So you have letters. I think your introduction to Chicago was meeting with Tyler and her guards, who basically said, looked at your letters, told you to behave yourselves. Generally, it's about as welcoming as a Primogen can be. You wandered round and found a hotel, which you thought was nice and peaceful, until someone knocked on your door. A particularly mad German and a very sinister old gentleman. I think he introduced himself as Master Portendorfer, and I think he called the other guy Madness Incarnate.
Yep, my kind of dude.
If I can spell his German name, it's actually... can't say it's... Just typing it in at the moment. Sin Incarnate. I'm not too sure if that's right, but the last word's supposed to be incarnate. My spelling is terrible and my writing is. It's basically was seen incarnate. Incarnate.
Vansing.
Yeah.
Incarnate.
Yeah.
Incarnate.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
madness.
love you tried to put an accent on it to make it sound super official and definitely right.
Something
I've
he
seen that
isn't.
name before, Vansing.
Yeah.
I've seen that name before.
Yeah. He just means incarnate. It means madness. The madness incarnate, basically. And they he was very interested in the little was it Malkavian.
Yep, because I'm very interesting.
That's not the word I used to describe you.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if you want, considering his general demeanour, if you want him particularly interested in you.
I can hold my own against madness incarnate. Not my madness yet.
We can have a dribbling contest.
I think he'd probably win that one too. And him and Mr. Portendorfer sort of wandered into your bedroom, opened a portal into somewhere that was dark, and sort of wandered through it, and closing it afterwards.
So a vampire walking around with a mage, or a changeling of some sort.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
No,
Not even a little bit.
Could be worse. Could be a vampire walking around with like a black spiral dancer.
That's true. Okay, we'll count our blessings.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm just laughing. I know what else is in the city.
Right.
Yeah. My friend, BSD, black spiral dancer.
Yeah. If you read the thing, there is a branch of Pentax here.
Yes, I know. I did notice that.
Yeah.
There are
Well,
probably black spiral dancers around here somewhere.
I think if I recall correctly, that it even mentioned that the black spiral dancers were instrumental in getting the Sabbat out of the city, right?
Or they suspect. There is no. They think it is. And I think one of the comments is, for some reason, Pentax is sort of increasing its security, and the werewolves are generally in a bit of they're once again surrounding the city. About 98.5.
Silly dogs.
Oh yeah, 1993 is when Under the Blood Moon it came. That's when the prince met an unfortunate demise, and it's common knowledge that happened. And for the last 5 years, they've been haven't decided who the prince is yet. They've been dragging their feet for various reasons. Yeah.
All legitimate, I'm sure.
Yeah. Or just elders being elders, got a little bit of power and don't want to give it up to one man. I think it does say the prince battle for the prince has started towards its peak, with two gentlemen called, I think, Capone and Hubbard being the two front runners, if I remember rightly.
Ballard.
Ah, yes.
Ballard.
I have weirdly my favourite character, to be fair. I love Ballard.
Fat,
I
ugly.
don't know. The Tremere in the city are pretty cool.
Yes.
Everyone likes their child.
I love Ballard's freaky subcontracts. I love it.
Yeah, but Ballard has a slightly different history in recent times, but that's because of his association. But that will come down the line. What I'll do is leave that evening to pan itself out while you work out what's just happened with your visitor, and you have what would be a normal quiet day with no disturbance, because they're quite apt around here at making sure that vampires are not disturbed, and they always seem to be rooms which have extra blackout blinds for some reason. Of course, that's just people who are in cities, after all, don't like living in cities with lots of lights. So, and you wake up the next evening and you lose all 1 point of blood each for surviving the day. And strangely, you're still in your room. No more visitations. You've still got all your limbs. Yeah.
Where did we? What did we start at? Were we mostly full, or did we have to?
You can start full. I'll be kind to you.
Okay.
Yeah, they usually.
So we've effectively lost 2 points at this.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
When hunting, that was what caused all the problems last time.
That's right.
Oh, you had
Your fault.
Yes, that's right. That's what I remember, because you came back and he yes, hello, friend.
I have a daily outgoing blood of like 4 blood a day.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
He brought the Madness Incarnate into the hotel with partner. I remember that one. Yeah, so the next day you wake up, no things. The only thing you seem to do is, for some nagging reason, the name Succubus Club keeps coming into your mind. It's almost annoying. When you're sitting there thinking in general, that pops into your mind. You don't know why, but it's saying there. Yes, even in your twisted mind, it comes in there.
Still sounds kind of gross. Succubus. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just there, and it will be there most of the evening if you do nothing about it.
Do any of us know the significance of that offhand?
No.
Okay.
It's strange in the fact that it's sitting in your mind.
Okay.
What were your sires like? Were they insistent? Were they very strict with you? Or did they...
Well, yes, because I have a prestigious sire. I've got the prestigious sire merit, so I have to follow the tradition, and also wanting to become a hound. The traditions are kind of important.
This feels like a summons. Because that's the sort of thing your sire would do. Basically be generally annoying until you come along. Sort of thing. It feels like a summons.
Alright.
As far as the Malkavian's concerned, it's just another annoying thought.
It's irritating.
She's not used to those.
What annoying thoughts?
No thoughts.
Rude. I will have you know, I have lots and lots of very interesting thoughts. Just because you don't understand my thoughts doesn't mean I don't have them, and doesn't mean that they're not very
Through this
interesting.
conversation, I'll pull out a squeaky toy.
I think someone's going to get chopped up in a minute. I'll check where all the knives are if I were you.
We can hear the dogs from here.
Oh, outside. Oh, that will be Astra, who's a Frijon Brijon and a Whippet puppy.
Oh, cute.
She's.
David, give me a dog.
No.
We have a big back garden for a terraced house, so we can. She sort of got there, but she has bad back legs. We can't keep her clean, so she's permanently grey. Yes, and she runs around like a total loon. And she's been to the vets, and they're saying she is not going to have issues with her hips, which is good. Which means she may not walk ever properly in life, but she won't end up a cripple. Right. So, what are you going to do?
Well, I guess if we're being summoned.
Are you going to hunt first, or are you going to wander off and try to find the club?
Well, I think finding the club's kind of more important, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that hungry. We'll be fine.
This is going to be interesting. A kid in a club.
I can put on all my grown-up clothes. I can look very grown-up if I want to.
Yeah, I felt
It will. If I do that, it will look like two kids in a trench coat. That's the kind of look it is.
You, oh dear. Right.
Two kids in a trench coat trying to get into an R-rated movie.
Oh, that would keep the. Was it Dorman? Was it amused? Oh, I'm just checking something. Ah, yes. This will be interesting. Right. Right, I'm getting the notes out. I know what's going to happen. Right. So you're going to wander off and try to find the Succubus Club.
Well,
How?
Is there an A to Z that we can have a look at? I'm sure the Succubus Club, being an actual proper nightclub, will be somewhere in one of these books.
It will do. It's like there's books in the hotel, which will do that. You will find it. It's sort of in downtown, probably within walking distance. Basically in an area full of warehouses, would be warehouses not far from the Loop, which is central Chicago. Doesn't actually give you a proper address of where it is, so it's sort of vaguely somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, but we've got an idea of where we're going.
Yeah. And you assume you're walking, or you're going to take the air?
I will be doing Blush of Life.
Yeah.
To walk around the town looking human.
Let's have a look. No. Right. Okay. Yeah, you wander out of the hotel, and you wander into town. It's fairly early in the evening. There are lots of people wandering around, sort of generally taking the air, as in it's a very busy, bustling city. I think the day is Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday, so it's sort of the start of the week. Being a generally an industrial, not industrial, as in a like the city financial district, you have lots of skyscrapers. And I've lost my notes already. Lots of skyscrapers. Lots of people wandering around. Got them. And as far as you're concerned, no one's paying much attention to you. Are you making sure you're walking straight there, or you're going around in a devious route, taking your time?
More or less, kind of straight there. We are being summoned. No, Don't want to keep our elders waiting.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah.
It would be impolite otherwise.
Yeah.
Really boring.
Yeah, you hooked up with a couple of stick in the muds here. I'm sorry.
I remember when Stick in the Mud was actually a good game.
So what I'm
Probably
talking.
just sit on the floor and play with a ball or something.
We're
Or
walking.
talk to my friends that you can't. Well, that's fine then. Then I'm going to be having a nice chat with my friends that you can't see.
Yeah, I'll just type something. Yeah, you can wander along.
And I'm gonna.
We'll make sure. We'll keep an eye out to make sure we're not being followed.
I'm gonna suddenly stop talking to my friend and start looking around very confused.
What's wrong?
I'm not sure.
Was your friend gone? Has she left you or something?
It's nothing. Don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah, you wander along again towards the Succubus Club.
Ah,
It's alright, I'm just waiting. Yeah.
Is there a way to put attachments into the Discord chat? I'm assuming there is.
There is. There's the cross.
Oh, is that okay? That's.
Yeah. And make sure you put it into your own chat.
And now
I
I'm
don't
going
know.
to.
I don't know if I
I'm
have
going
this facility.
I'm going to very suddenly scream and turn around, spin on my heels, and start swatting at the air. I'm freaking out.
Okay.
Can I see anything?
No,
I don't see anything.
you won't.
And I'm going to start like pulling up my hair as if like there's a spider. Like, think small child with spider in hair.
Okay.
Name small child with spider in hair. That's
Okay.
that.
Grab out. I think we need to deal. I think she's having one of her fits again.
Yeah.
Oh, he keeps touching my hair.
Who does?
They keep touching my hair. And I'm just going to keep scratching my hair and mumbling that they keep touching my hair.
Oh, I didn't.
Who is touching your hat?
Hair.
Hair? Wait,
Hair.
what's
Like my hair. Like,
your hair? Yes. Who's
hair,
touching
yeah.
your hair?
Yeah, well, they just keep touching my hair. Can I? Can I still feel them around me?
No.
No. Okay. I'm gonna, after a little while of like clawing at my head, I will calm down.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we can keep walking.
I will.
But I will be like,
when you've calmed down, I'll get down on a knee. I say, how about we put your hair in pigtails, and we'll make the way no one can flick it. Yes.
okay.
I shall do her hair in pigtails to keep the Markavian happy.
But if we do start walking along again, I will keep like scratching and just like as if it's like ants on my skin. I'm just uncomfortable now. Someone's been touching me.
Does she always do this?
I will kind of blink and just close my eyes, and then look like someone is messing with us.
Let's say.
Someone is playing with her hair and tapping on my shoulder.
Tapping on your shoulder.
Yes.
What?
Physical sensation.
See, it's not all in my head.
I never said it was. That's why I would believe you. You don't normally attack your own hair when you're in trouble. I will look around to see if there's anything that looks out of place in the local area.
No.
All right. Well, I guess the sooner we're
At the club, the better.
yes.
And you go towards the club.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. How observant are you? Or are you looking up? How are you looking around by now?
Oh, I am trying to be alert to everything.
Yeah. We're definitely in paranoid mode here.
They're in paranoid mode. I've given up being in paranoid mode, and now I'm humming to myself whilst I itch my arm.
Yeah.
'Cause it's still feeling
As you get near the club itself, you sort of looking, everywhere. You notice on top of a building nearby, there's something or someone crouching, watching you.
That maybe that's just a normal sentry.
I'm just going to stare at them.
Yeah, it sort of stares back to you.
We're not trying to be.
Can we get any idea on
It's
the
dressed.
size of this person?
It's dressed in a long coat. It has, as far as you can see in the thing, scraggly hair. The coat would look slightly familiar, as in you saw it about a night ago. It sort of howls and sort of turns and disappears.
Did you say
One of yours?
howls like a wolf dog creature? Like a werewolf, basically.
No, it's as if a human was doing a howl.
Oh, like a owl.
Yeah.
I guess that guy must really like us.
I'm very tempted to try and chase him, because it seems like a fun game.
He is.
Let's not. Marie. One of yours, maybe.
You mean you don't want the tiny Moncavian child chasing after strangers in the dark?
It's kind of low on my list of.
David, the door.
Back in a second. Someone wanted more food.
Uh-oh.
I have worked a very long day, and I'm very hungry and very tired. My current job, we're gearing up. We move on to the trucks tomorrow, actually.
Ooh.
Ugh.
No. None of that. What have I got tomorrow? Oh, God. I don't want to even think about it.
What?
4 show hours in 4 hours. And they'll only work if they've given us all the information. And salesmen are notorious for not giving us all the information we need.
No.
Yeah.
I'm working on Horrible Histories at the moment. We
Oh.
start filming next week, and so I'm in the costume department, and I have to move 8 weeks worth of costumes onto 3 costume trucks in 2 days.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, the trucks arrive tomorrow afternoon, and we have to fully load up. Bearing in mind, I'm also making a lot of the costumes right now, like as in
Just.
the workday. Today I was making loads of Roman stuff.
Of course,
And,
yes.
We've got to load it all up.
More
Friday,
horrible
ready
histories. Yeah.
to Love Horrible Histories.
Yes. We sort of picked it up on Netflix, and we sort of watched. Some of the actors work in Ghosts, which we still got to watch a bit of.
They started in Horrible Histories, and then they went on to Ghosts. The guys that I'm working with at the moment aren't the same ones.
Oh.
They've all moved on to like Ghosts, and they did Yonderland for a bit as well, which is another one.
No, I haven't watched
I'm
it.
back.
Right.
My wife now has more food.
This way.
It's sugary food, which means that I'm very happy.
Oh, we've already had ours. We'd be very good. No takeaways.
She already had her food.
I'm wanting more.
I made her food as soon as she got in the door.
Feed me.
Almost verbatim what he heard.
Feed me.
Give me more
Feed
food.
me.
I'm hungry. There's the rest of my food. This is not all my food. Don't at me. I'm
I
hungry.
literally got a text message saying hungry.
Oh,
I was.
right. You get to the club. It basically it's not very spectacular outside. If I remember, it gets described. It looks like a warehouse with a sign saying Succubus Club. Usual queue of people getting into the club. Though there are some people who seem to have the fact they walk up, the doorman look at them and just let them straight in with no questions asked. Most tend not to be alive.
Okay, well that'd be the entrance we're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they look you up and down. Okay, and they sort of move the rope, as they do, move the rope aside and you go in.
Thank you.
You hear the odd comment from people, the usual thing of disgruntled, was it mortals, who can't work out why there was it waiting to go in.
Yeah, we probably look pretty
Unique.
disheveled.
Yes. Well, that's also, most of those look very, how you say, was it neat and tidy. The doors to one side, you go into basically would be a usual foyer. You've got a desk where you put your coats if you want to do that. And there is a lot of music going. There's lots of music in the club. It's absolutely full of people. The feeling seems to sort of want to pull you upstairs for some reason. Now,
It's
where,
probably either at the very top or the very bottom.
So it's probably not a Nosferatu then.
So, see if we can find a way up.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can wander through the. No, I've got to do this. Right. Yeah, you sort of push through the crowd, and let's see. Someone grabs hold of. Let's see who will be. James is if I remember, is the more human-looking, isn't he? Rather than
I've got Flash of Life up.
Yeah. Oh well, that would be.
I'm just really dirty, so.
Yeah, no one's interested in you. Someone grabs hold of your arm, a young lady, would look much like a goth. She seems to not be put off by the fact. Well, she seems to know something. Say, are you one of those? And sort of strokes the side of your face.
Oh, I don't know what you mean, young lady.
She looks at the cowboy, the other guy in the suit, as in that's Philip, and she wanders up. Of course, you're cold, and said, she goes, you are. Would you like to share some blood?
Sorry, not my type.
What if I said pretty please? And she puts on a smile.
Yeah, I think Philip just kind of gives her the glare and head cock and brushes right past her.
You hear you wouldn't hear the stamp because the music's loud.
I'll kind of look at you and just give a shake. In my day, they would have been on a corner. It'd be so much easier.
Yeah, as you push through, you sort of bump into a shortish gentleman. He sort of looks a bit put out for it initially, and then sort of cocks his head at you. And sort of half bows. Fellow, was it travellers of the dark path?
I'll have to give him the whole raise my cap.
You
Stare at him.
I think his name is Marcel, and he sort of holds his hand out. What brings to as if to shake?
I'll take his hand.
Ah, nice to meet you. Sort of. So, Philip. So, what brings you to this illustrious place? Place I haven't seen your faces before. It's always
We're
nice.
new in town, and we kind of we've been drawn here, shall we say?
Strange. So, what are you going to do in town? Anything interesting? Or do you need a little help in doing what you need to do? And he smiles.
We seem to have no lack of interesting things happening to us already.
Well, what did you expect coming to one of the premier... And he looks down at the kit.
And she suddenly stops humming.
It is it? This child, it is a follower of the dark path. If you know what I mean.
Certainly walking her own path, that's for sure.
Well,
I'm just gonna stare him in the eyes and hope he looks away.
Yeah, I'd like to have a word.
She's a few picnics short of a Sunday lunch.
I'd like to have a word with Sire, if possible.
it's sort of a...
Your hair looks weird.
I'll ignore it then. What was I
I
saying?
do apologise for her anything she says in advance. Unfortunately, we know what they're kind of like, and that's why she's kind of been given to us to look after.
Oh, indeed, we have our equal share here, especially mother. Though son has disappeared for some reason, which was sad. But hey, as I was saying, if you do need anything of a certain nature, I can always find it for you. And this is always a good place to get it.
Good to know, thank you very much.
I can always lace someone's blood with certain, how you say, substances. And he smiles. And he looks at, I think, in James, because you look generally a bit worse for wear, even something to alleviate the pain.
Pain is good. Well, that's what Wild Bill used to tell me right before he shot me.
Pain is weakness leaving the body.
It's a little wise, this child. And was it you said summoned? Do you know who summoned you here? Always
No. We don't.
I have a feeling that we'll know them when we see them.
True.
We are trying to find our way upstairs.
Ah, that I can help you. He sort of points to a set of stairs. As where you're facing, it's sort of behind him. The stairs are up there. You can go to a far quieter area.
Thank you very much. I'll tip my hat to him.
I hope to see you again.
I will give him a very toothy grin. Reminiscent of a shark.
Ah,
Foolish shark.
I would tell your child to be a little, more careful.
I'll give him a clip round the ear.
They are, how you say, strict about the certain masquerade here for some reason. Not so much in here.
Well, if this is the case, why do my only comment then is we've already been approached by a random kind or offering ourselves to divest herself.
Well, there are some that know. You met a blood doll. And they sort of hang out round here, and they produce. They're a good place. They're good things to lace with certain substances, and they sort of overlook them.
Well, I'd keep an eye on them, not even knowing who we are.
Some of them have the knack of knowing. Or they could
Yeah,
have been.
my only concern is if they did it to the wrong type of people.
He looks around. Yes. But that's always a risk here. And smiles. It adds to the chaos.
Well, I do believe we should be going. Whoever's being looking forward to seeing us, we shouldn't keep waiting, because that would just be rude.
Indeed it would. Good. I hope to see you again a little later.
I'll raise my hat again to him, start moving towards the way he said to go up.
Yep. Are you keeping watch what he's doing, or are you looking back?
Oh, no, as soon as I leave, I'm kind of, I'll let him get on with his stuff, whatever he's doing.
You're not bothering, that's
I don't
fine.
think this is his kind of area. I don't want to watch him be rude.
Yep, and right, as you go up the stairs towards the upper thing, you see a was it a black gentleman with a lot of. He's definitely a vampire. What you'd be best described as a donkey title drug dealer, as in very fine suit, gold, and he's surrounded by what you'd think would look like gang members with the things, and he's sort of wandering down the stairs, as in you're expected to move, sort of thing.
Does he look really important, or just like he thinks he's important?
Self-important.
Cool, then I'm not going to get out of his way.
He sort of
Pretend that I can't see him.
Yeah.
If he thinks he's important, but he's not actually important, then I don't care.
Yeah, he sort of stops and sort of motions for one of his entourage, move it, sort of thing, and they try to grab hold of you.
If someone tries to grab hold of them, I'll just grab the wrist to stop them.
I'm just going to start giggling slightly frighteningly, and
I'll look at the big guy, and I'll say, I am sorry for our ward's behaviour, but she is of a certain type that she doesn't seem to respect authority to the point that she gets herself in trouble. We are here to make sure she doesn't. I apologise for any offence that may she have caused. And then I'll look at the guy who went to grab her and said, but if you lay one finger on her, you won't be walking out of here.
Yeah, the guy sort of walks up to you nose to nose. And to whom am I speaking? The guy, he's actually got dollars shaved into the side of his head.
The name's James Bell.
Well, Mr. Bell, I am Mr. Jackson, and I'm rather important around here.
I am aware of your. I've heard the rumours of yourself, hence why I'm apologising for my friend. But my ward is under my protection, and anything under my protection, I protect vehemently.
Then
and
move.
I mean no offence to yourself.
Yeah, then move.
And I'm just going to chime in and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. And I will step out. I'll make a big point of stepping out of his way.
He sort of goes, you know how sucks his lips. Malkavians.
I'm just going to grin at him like it wasn't rude.
Gotta be a Malkavian.
As soon as he's out of the way, it will be enough that he's probably in earshot. I will turn to you and say, do you want to stop annoying all of the big wigs in all of the towns we go to?
Well, he wasn't actually important. He just thought that he was, so...
Let's sort of, as they come back, he sort of stops for about a few seconds. Then, almost as he thinks better of it, and just carries on. And as the guys walk past you, they all sort of look at you as if you're scum, basically.
Oh, well, I mean mug them right back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to grin.
I've got the intimidation to back that up.
Yeah, I'm not that phased by them giving me dirty looks. Jackson's important. They're thugs. They don't matter.
And he was a vampire, and they're certainly not.
Yeah, and that's another reason. They'll probably be his ghouls.
Yeah.
They're just people. People aren't important.
behave.
He's
What do we
not
know
the
about that
prince,
guy?
so why should I care?
Because this isn't our city. When we go to somewhere new, we have to look at a little bit of rules, just for a little bit. Once you know where everything is, then you can start being yourself. Until
Yeah,
then,
but
you
you
have to
can
be on
see
your
that
best behaviour.
But you could see that he wasn't actually important, he was just rude. So, meh. And I will literally stick my tongue out at you.
You're not wrong, Marie, but James is right. We need to tread carefully until we find our footing here.
Fine. And you'll literally see me stand slightly straighter and
That's going to
not
be...
clearly not happy about it, but I will put on the appropriate outer attitude.
Pretend that you're at a fancy dress ball.
See, I was just imagining going to that guy's execution.
Okay, well, pretend that it's a fancy dress execution then.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
First execution it is.
I'm gonna start walking off, rubbing my temples.
Yeah. Yep, you actually go upstairs, and this is different. What they've done is made the sound system in such a way that it points down into the club below. This area tends to be a lot more quieter. It tends to look a lot more... You've got tables, you've got booths, and the clientele tend to be not city people. They tend to be far more well-dressed people.
That they call music. Thank God that's stopped.
Yes, and there's the bar, and you come up and you sort of survey it. There are a few people there. There are mixtures of businessmen, as in executives. They seem far more professional, as in they're not the juniors downstairs, which tended to be downstairs mixture of, you know, office workers who've finished the day and they've come here just to get drunk, punks, people like they blood dolly met, as in they look like goths. And as one thing I should have said is, as you walked across the floor, you could feel there was further vibration below there of different sort of music, as if there was something below you, as in there was another floor. And there is, as you look around, there is an old gentleman with white hair who seems to be sort of watching you very intently.
I'm gonna make sure that I'm standing between the two gentlemen and just keeping my eyes down and my mouth closed. Fancy dress execution.
I'm gonna walk over to this white-haired gentleman. Does he look like he has pulse? Is he breathing?
No, he's not breathing. Ah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please sit.
Good evening. I believe. Are you the person who has requested our attendance?
No, strangely not. Is that why you're here?
Yes. Who would be the person we would probably needing to speak to here?
I have no idea. But it is fortuitous you came here. I gather you're new to the city. Or
Yes.
you came in recently, so I've been told by a certain fellow member of the Primogen.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you? I assume that you have seen our letter, or at
Unfortunately,
least heard of it.
I have heard of it. Please sit. I am being amiss here. I am Kritas. I am the bourgeois Primogen of Chicago. And I do need to, as it is fortuitous here, I do need to say, you really do need to introduce yourselves soon to the Primogen, as we have no prince.
Well, as we did meet one of the someone last night who we introduced us with a letter. So we're in our process of sorting ourselves out to come and see someone soon, as soon as we knew where.
I'll make it easy for you. We have a meeting tomorrow night at 11 o'clock in the Chicago Art Institute. A very fine building with some very fine art. And we would like your presence, if that's... Unfortunately, Tyler you met and Sheriff are, how you say, a little zealous about their duties, and sometimes can be a little overzealous. You understand me?
Understandable. We work for the scourge of where we're from, so we're kind of used to that. We understand there's a few issues going on in the city. Me and my companion, and I'll point to Philip, say we are here because we understand that there are troubles within the city, and so we've been asked to have a look. And this is our ward. Somewhere along the line, her sire decided that she wasn't required, and so we are looking after her in her youth. Unfortunately, being young,
yes,
she is immature, I believe is the phrase we use.
Yes,
just a young'un.
Not always true with her. Was it Primogen, Tremere Primogen is like herself, a child. It can mean with some lack of credibility, but he's quite apt at what he does. So, have you got you mentioned something about letters?
I'll look at Phil, if Philip has a letter.
That's right. I produce it.
He got it. He opens it. Interesting. You may be needed in the city after all. As you said, there has been trouble.
Judging from our first 24 hours in the city, not surprising.
It is, how you say, been a entertaining few weeks, to say the least. But that comes from such a vibrant city, with so many, population, and, how you might say, undesirables. And he hands the letter back to you.
You are aware you have a Mercavian walking around with some sort of other supernatural that has the ability to teleport.
We had... that part we didn't know, but the Mercavian we certainly do know there's about. There have, as you might say, been a number of very interesting murders.
His companion seems to be studying him, and we saw him open some sort of portal or something, and they basically walked out of our hotel room to wherever.
So it might be fortuitous if you could repeat that to, the Primogen tomorrow night. That would be much appreciated.
No problem.
And considering the letter coming from your lips, it will carry some credibility. If per se it was from your ward, no credibility would have been given to it. After all, they rarely speak sense, or if you do, you can tend to miss it. And he smiles.
And you can almost see me biting my tongue.
Fancy dress execution.
Fancy dress execution to myself. Just quietly, fancy dress execution.
I believe that's why we have been given our ward. While she is still young and everything, she does seem to have the knack.
Could be interesting. So, I will see you tomorrow night. Go and find whoever you were, trying to find.
No problem.
See if
Thanks
it
for
is.
your time.
And thanks for your time.
Is there any dress code required for this exhibition? I don't want to stand out or cause any offence to the host of the exhibition.
No, we are. It isn't. It's the Primogen is a very cosmopolitan.
Okay.
It goes with the
Is there any code or anything to go through the doors?
No.
As in, the guard, to make sure that they know where we're invited.
They'll know. All are usually welcome to the Primogen meeting, as long as they don't, how you say, cause trouble.
Thank you.
Is the Malkavian sitting there, standing there, he's going, oh, you don't want to cause trouble. I don't want to cause trouble.
I think she's literally just saying that. She's literally going, fancy dress execution.
Fancy dress execution. Fancy dress. And I'm literally singing it to myself. Like a soothing little song. Whilst I look at him.
He sort of cocks his head.
But I'm mumbling it to myself. I'm not saying it very loudly. It's very clearly I'm just singing it to myself rather than trying to...
Yeah. No, he just...
I'm just watching you whilst I sing my little song.
Interesting character. Anyway, go and find whoever, and if you do, if I'm still here, I would be interested to know who summoned you. If you wouldn't mind telling me.
I believe in the nature of us coming to the city, that would be acceptable. Wouldn't you agree, Phil?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I will see you hopefully tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Now have fun.
See you then.
And just remember, once you find out who it is, I would be fascinated. Yep, it's still there in the back of your mind, and it has been all the way through.
Yeah.
And you go and sort of walk away.
Yep.
And who's in front?
I guess I've got the letter. I'll take point.
Yeah, you sort of walk, and you walk into a gentleman.
Pardon me.
Who's dressed in what would be best described 19th century cavalry uniform, including hat, sabre, and was it the jacket they always wore off the shoulder. And in a very English accent, he says straight. He looks at you and says, "Be careful. Not everybody is what they seem. Some have masks which they hide behind." You blink, and he's gone.
Whoa! Like just gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will then look at our Malkavian friend. That is not an example of things that you should be aiming for, okay?
But it looked like so much fun! Take all the fun stuff away. You never let me do anything cool.
And by your ear, a voice says, "I really do have the knack of not being seen."
And I get almost excited as I try and spin around in a circle trying to find this individual.
No, it's much like before. Same as the person that tapped you on the shoulder and generally caused you all that grief. Except this gentleman was a little bit more politer. He didn't stroke your hair.
Alright, Murray, we need to go. Come on.
But what about the invisible man?
Love Malkavians.
Friends?
You've got plenty of invisible friends.
Yeah, but I want an invisible friend that other people can hear.
Oh, this is good.
I have invisible friends does not make it anywhere near as fun. Being able to use my invisible friends to get other people.
Yep. And so you're in. How are you going to find whoever? You're going to wander around until you find someone.
Oh. Surely our summoning will kind of lead us in a rough direction.
No, you're sort of in at the moment.
Okay. I'll look around. Is anyone particularly watching us? Although with the singing midget, that is not hard. That we're probably stared at by a lot of people.
Yeah, there are a lot of people paying interest. Though there's someone who would be best described as very stunning, long dark hair, dark glasses, very well dressed female, who's sipping what you looks like wine.
That looks like the most important person in the room. Let's go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. I'll turn to Philip and go, you're a venturer, you know. Just use your detect Ponce ability.
Philip actually like cracks a wry smile and shows a little bit of fang at that. Because I mean, if you like, Philip is I mean, he's definitely got a bit of the venture pride going on, but he's in his appearance, he's not terribly. Well, he definitely looked like he's a detective that looks like he's been on like a 3-night stakeout.
The one thing you noticed about this lady, she is dressed immaculately. What we called height of fashion. Everything is in place, absolutely in place.
Okay. Well, I walk straight up to her and give a slight bow, and do we have? Was it by your invitation that we're here?
Who knows? Please sit.
Thank you. This is
strangely, the compulsion has now gone.
Okay. My name's Philip Drake. This is James Bell and our ward, Marie.
An interesting creature.
I'm not even going to be looking at her. I'm like staring at the walls.
Not a very...
she may be little, but I would please ask that you would at least show her a little bit of respect. As a child, the best way of getting any decent response from her is to kind of be nice to her. I'll ruffle her hair a little.
Oh no, it's not even that I'm ignoring. I'm just super interested at something on the wall.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. But we don't know that, so I just give you a little bit of ruffle on the hair.
Yeah, and she's certainly not. Breathing, and what's in the glass is not wine. And she sort of looks at you and... So, you have introduced yourselves. I am Portia. I own this illustrious and famous club. And you seem to find your way to my table. And introduced yourselves. So why are you in the club, and why are you in the city? Are you here to do something interesting? Interesting is always good.
Well,
she sort of sips of wine.
Here to... I'm sorry?
She sort of sips of wine.
Okay.
Carry on, sorry.
Sorry. We are here to assist this domain in any way that we can. I produced the letter of introduction.
Oh. She sort of looks at it dismissively and sort of hands it to you back. None of my was it interest. That is of the elders.
Very well.
So, but that's the main reason you're here? So, you're good at what then? She sort of eyes both of you.
James and I have both assisted the scourge of San Francisco.
She sort of smiles, but it's that sort of smile. There's there's something behind it. It's not a nice smile. It's like a
Cheshire cat.
Yeah. So, And she sort of reaches out and puts her hand on top of Philip's hand. So you are useful with, was it weapons then?
I'm not a bad shot. James is the better marksman of the two of us, but we're both good at detecting things.
All very useful to know. You may be useful. As for the creature, the child...
Well, she's there in case we need to detect more esoteric things.
Interesting.
I've always been told, never underestimate a child of man or cav.
Indeed. But it's always good advice for a Malkavian not to look too deeply into things or people. They may not like, and she's actually staring at what they find. And there's an edge to the voice. Do I make myself clear, child?
And it's as if she suddenly appears back in the room and I start looking at that. What? And very much in my own world, humming to myself. Completely ignoring this person. Not intentionally, just very distracted by the pretty colours in the wall.
Yeah. I may go. I think
I believe we've been trying to instruct Marie how it is not polite to snoop. Right, Marie?
You said not to listen into grown-ups' conversation.
always a good thing, but
That's not the right thing to do.
Go. And you get the feeling you want to go.
We'll take our leave then.
Who has dominate?
I do.
It was a command.
With that dominate.
Yeah.
That's just like,
It was a command.
Yeah. I grab. Yeah, I hold up my hand for Marie and and stand up.
I take it and I go along with him, not having any issue.
Mm.
Still
Right.
really interested in the wall though. It's very pretty.
The walls tend to be pretty plain, does it? Yeah.
I never said that what I was looking at was something everybody else could see.
Ah, yes. Oh yeah, was it Mark?
Alright.
Yes, they have their.
This is,
Go on.
oh, go ahead.
Go. Carry on. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just as we're walking away, I turn to James and this whole place is just ass backwards. I felt more welcomed by the Bruja than my own clan member.
Oh.
are you sure she's one of your clan?
Not
don't know.
entirely.
I don't know. With that chic, she could have been like a corridor. You know how they are.
She has.
I don't know why she just seemed a little bit too pretty to be a venturer.
Yes.
Obviously not meant too many venture. Well, he kind of looks down at his own, disheveled outfit, and some of us pay a lot of attention to appearances, but she definitely had our blessings, as it were. Not to say that a Toreador could not, learn our gifts, but it's if she summoned us here and then ordered us to go like she did, that's very much within my clan's wheelhouse.
She wasn't fun, so she must be one of you.
You had that what did you call it? James, that
What do they call it? I've heard them say like chic.
Chic.
something like that.
She
It's one of those
was.
modern words. I get confused sometimes.
Yeah, she's very.
That's it. Yep.
She was absolutely. She was immaculate, and I mean immaculate.
That's also a very Ventru trait.
Mm. The problem was it with Ventru and Tremere and certain other clans, you would have great, other than they told you would have great difficulty.
Plus elders.
Yeah, plus elders.
And elders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dominates like a core discipline, so there's a lot of people just learn it,
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
especially because it's so useful for feeding.
Yeah, as you're walking away, was it? I'll just write something down. Ooh.
I will say that she probably could be one of your clan, because being summoned here did feel like it was just a look at me type type thing, which there was no reason other than to just see us, which didn't feel useful.
Yeah. Andrew, remind me. There's something. She said something that sort of implied that we were of the same blood, but was I just imagining that?
No, not as such. She was.
Okay.
She was more interested in certain things you could do.
Okay.
And she told you nothing.
All right.
I feel like it's going to take us a while to learn the lay of the land. I mean, that Jackson, we've heard his name. He's supposed to be some sort of really big way here, potential prince type thing. So we've already annoyed somebody. And I'll look at Marie.
I am very distracted.
We better hope that he doesn't win the contest.
Well, we can always go back. I mean, we've come here. It's not like it used to be. I know. We can get there. We can get to Seattle in a lot quicker. It's no longer a few days' ride.
Bear with me here.
I do apologise for my awful spelling, by the way.
That's all right. You hear a bang from near. Was it the? You will hear that a bang from near. Was it the Malkavian's foot?
And I'm going to scream like a small little girl that I am.
Okay.
At this point, the whole bar is watching you.
Marie?
What's that? What happened?
He stepped on my foot.
Who did?
The guy that was stroking my hand. He's really mean.
Can you see him, Marie?
No. But he was stroking my hand. I said, "Who are you?" And he stamped on my foot. He's mean. I don't like him anymore.
I don't think I do either.
And he didn't even tell me who he was.
Alright, I wasn't just making things up when I said that you can see things that we cannot. Right? Your clan has those gifts.
They might, but I don't. She doesn't have sense B. No, she doesn't. It's I think it's one of the Auspex powers, and she doesn't have it.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh yeah. All of my friends are imaginary friends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, perhaps you should
Got it.
work on that.
I plan to. I give him a look that says, "Leave it alone."
Yep. Yeah, well, the bar's now all looking at you. Basically, you've got a screaming girl. And they sort of, after a few minutes, sort of go back to where they were.
Yeah, I'll just look at like the closest person who's staring and like, and
they quickly, they quickly
flare back.
They sort of
mind your own business.
Yeah, they sort of go, and they was it go. I'm gonna have to get a drink in a minute. Whee. But we'll go to the end of this one, and then we can do the next bit afterwards.
Well, we can on the way out. We can see if we can find our white-haired friend.
He is there. He's still.
Definitely the one stepping on my toes.
And he looks and bows. Do you go up to him?
Yeah.
Did you find the person you wanted?
We believe so. Although I must admit, I am unused to your city. Wherever I've always gone, there've always been a part of the rules of a place like this. I assume this is some sort of Elysium. Would prevent someone from molesting my child companion.
Unfortunately, this is not Elysium.
That is good to know.
Within
He stepped on my foot.
Yes. Don't ask me to. Don't. Who summoned you?
Well, a little tit for tat. We'll tell you who it is, and you tell us what you know about them.
Yeah. Who was it?
Well, what do you know about Portia, then?
The owner of the club?
Ah, well...
A known neolite, like yourselves, I assume.
Really? I've never heard of a Neonate being able to summon someone.
Indeed so. If it was her that summoned you in the first place, there is always a possibility, as you would have known, that some others use, how you say, neolites to act as go-betweens. Neonates as go-betweens.
Ah, so
you are new
to
to
somebody else's agent, perhaps.
Indeed, I am old enough to know of the machinations of the game, of the thing called the Dryad. How you say, one of the most convoluted games.
Well, we're down the bottom of the run.
And so supposedly is Portia. But still... Thank you very much for your help.
Is there anything else we need to know about this city, so we don't cause any more problems? I mean, we've already had a run-in with Jackson, so I don't want to have any more.
Ah, Mr. Jackson. Yes, not exactly one of the most pleasant gentlemen. Fingers in, how you say, the more down-run areas of the city into, if I remember, drugs and the Bloods, as in the gangs. Having an interesting time at the moment with Russians, I believe.
Russians?
Well, it seems that the Russians are, since they've sort of been, how you say, moving in on his, what's the modern word, territory? His sphere of influence, you might say. So he's not exactly a very happy gentleman at the moment.
Well,
yeah, he's, how you say, typical Ventru.
Rude and obnoxious.
No, I would not say that. He smiles.
I'll grin back at him, knowing full well I'm right.
But yes, he is a troubled gentleman at the moment, so he will not be one of the most, how you say, pleasant people to deal with. seems to have this thing for, how you say, anybody that sort of stands up to him he doesn't like. There was a certain, I think it was a Mr. White, he took an instant dislike to because he's sort of in the same club, sort of stood up to him and didn't back down as much as he expected. An interesting gentleman, Mr. White.
I've heard the name.
It might be one of the people we could ask you to find. But we will discuss that tomorrow night, or in future nights.
Yes.
But thank you, much appreciated. If you do excuse me, I have to go myself. I have business
Thank you.
elsewhere.
No problem. Thank
He stands
you
up
very
with
much.
that, and it wanders off downstairs.
Well, I for one feel like I need to hunt.
All right.
I'll meet you back at the hotel.
Are you all going out as a group, or are you going out bit by bit?
I think we're
I'm
splitting
not
up.
really hungry, so.
I'll take Marie back to the hotel then.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's somewhere else you want to go.
No, I'm okay. If you're hungry, you can go eat. I'll go back to the hotel by myself. I'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm fine at the moment.
Yep. So you're going out via the front door again.
Yeah.
Okay. As you all as a group go out of the front door after going through the main part, there are a group of gentlemen walking in. One very stocky gentleman, and there's about 5 others who tend to be fairly heavily built, who sort of walking in such a way it's going to be difficult to get past them. Now, do you move aside or do you just stay where you are?
I mean, I want to stay where I am, but last time that got me in trouble. So.
What
I'm
we'll do
going
is
to-
we'll move a bit to the side,
Yeah.
but
I think
whoever's
we'll
on the
move it.
outside of the thing will have to walk around us.
Yeah.
Right. The guy at head stars looks at you. Good move, Leech. Saves a beating. And goes into the club. The one
Leech.
they are and continue walking into the club. It was said with a very heavy Russian accent.
Mhm. Ah.
And and the guy you moved aside, one of them won't actually move. He will shoulder barge you as he goes past.
Rude.
I'll try not to get pushed back by it.
It's sort of 50-50. He's strong.
I'm tough.
Yeah, basically it's
I'm not the strongest, but I am quite.
it's a little as it sort of jostling, as in, and then after they sort of he just walks past and sort of looks in a direction and sort of puts his 2 fingers at the eyes and then does a point at you and does that a couple of times.
I'm just going to glare at him. Is this very rude?
He stops and he glares back.
I'm not. It doesn't intimidate me. I'm going to just keep glaring.
I put a hand on your shoulder.
Here,
Like let's go, Marie.
you hear a guttural growl, and it doesn't sound human.
I'm going to stick my tongue out at him then.
As he steps forwards, he's grabbed by the shoulders by 2 of them, and he's sort of dragged out. He's sort of being dragged out.
I'm going to wave at him and smile.
3.
I didn't do anything.
You know exactly what you're doing.
The guy sort of
Now walk.
The guy sort of
Fine.
knocks the two, and he comes running towards you, and he sort of stops right near your face, and his jaw is sort of elongated, and his teeth are starting to get a bit more pointed, and he's growling.
I'm going to watch him. I don't fully grow. I mean, I clock that he's probably a werewolf, but
This is not. I'll just look at him and say, "This is not the place. No, look around you. Don't. This is not the place."
And the little guy says, "And I agree. Leave the leech alone. It's harmless." And he sort of bends down and says something in Russian. The guy sort of looks at Marie, looks at him, and sort of backs off. And the guy just
I'm
smiles.
keep walking in the direction I was instructed to walk.
Yeah.
I'm doing as I'm told because I'm a good girl. I would never do anything wrong. I'm an angel.
You just
As we're out of earshot, I'll go to Philip and just say, "I don't suppose you have contacts for silver bullets anywhere, do you?"
Just thinking the same thing.
I might have a friend that can make them.
She just tried to outstare a wolf. Do you know how dangerous that is?
Yeah, but it's very funny.
Oh dear, that could have
We
been.
are we're either going to end up very dead or look very impressive by the end of the week.
The thing
scars can be very impressive.
The thing is that they were werewolves. If they were werewolves, why were they walking into the club?
And why were they being really rude and calling us names? Like, they deserve to get stared at because that's rude.
I really don't understand the dynamics of this city yet. That there are treaties with werewolves, and they're apparently, if that's what those guys were, they're allowed to just walk into the club. Yeah. But let's look at silver bullets, James. That works, right?
Yeah, you assume so.
Okay.
You assume it works.
He's not going to do us any harm to make sure.
Yes. You're gonna look for silver bullets.
And I'm gonna.
I mean, I'm no offense to you, but you just don't have the claws.
Right. And I think I have to spend some time at the range. If you know what I mean.
Are you going to watch the club for a short while, or are you going to walk off?
I'm going to go and get some food because I am hungry.
So you go and hunt.
I mean, I've almost used half my blood in one evening.
Right.
And the other two are.
Bad idea. You had perfect. You have plenty of opportunities to feed inside the club.
No offense to your clan, but I am not going to feed under one of the kings or queens households. I'm not owing anything to this Portia woman. You know, it's rude enough that she summoned us. Now that I found out she's a Neonate like us, she doesn't get that right. If she was one of the elders, I have no problem. If she's a Neonate, I have an issue with that. That's not what I signed up for. That's not what the Silver Tower's about.
Fair. All right. Marie, I think I'm going to actually stick around and watch this place for a little bit. You can stay with me as long as you promise to be quiet.
Okay.
Or I can meet you back at the hotel.
I'll stay. Hotel's gonna be boring, but it's fine. It's a fancy dress funeral, and it's okay. And I'll stay quiet. You won't even know I'm here.
And that we're... Well, now we can pretend that we're playing detective. Or hunting. Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, that sounds like so much fun. Let's do that.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, at that point, I am walking off.
Yeah.
I know what happens when they play detective.
Yeah. Right, you watch the club. It's not much of a surprise that after about 5 minutes, a group of gentlemen are escorted out of the place.
Same Russians?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm going to hide behind you.
And they are, how you say, they are sort of goading the others. They are goading them, and was it basically, what you would suspect are probably swearing in Russian, doing various, was it signs which you would think to do with, was it killing, and they killing, or was it doing that? And one of them sort of waving a gun. And was it they seem to be making more of a show of it than the people who, you would think the people who's throwing them out wouldn't have a chance if they did anything. But for some reason they're making a big show of the fact that they were there and being kicked out.
Gotcha.
I think the puppies are in trouble.
Yeah,
Help.
they're doing a very good show.
Right. They got a safe face.
I'm just going to watch them from the shadows, but also be hiding because I don't want to get in trouble again.
After the people gone in, they sort of, sort of gather round and sort of start laughing, start just joking.
Okay.
And there's just wander off into the night. They're basically not bothered at all.
Shall we follow them, Marie?
I don't mind. I don't want to get in trouble again, so you can choose this one.
All right. Well, let's play detective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll attempt to shadow them then.
Yeah, they don't seem to be, for some reason, they don't tend to be overly worried. They're not looking, they were just going out. They probably go to a bar and they sort of disappear into it and start drinking.
Okay.
And generally rubber-rousing.
So it doesn't look like it's any kind of home turf or usual hangout.
No.
Of theirs. Okay.
If anything, because of there's lots of very uncomfortable, clientele there.
Right.
They are, being boisterous, sort of going off, and if there's pool tables, they sort of, take one over and kick the players off, which does start with the guys, and they just seem to have this withering look, and the guys just go, oh no, we don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. And they just seem settle in for an evening of drinking.
Got it.
I'm going to tug on your sleeve and whisper in your ear, they seem really mean.
You're right, but maybe we can use that sometime in the future.
Okay.
Well, so I think we'll go back by the club and maybe watch for a little bit longer. But nothing really interesting presents itself.
It basically is in and out. You'll see vampires go in and people come out, and as the evening goes, the crowd sort of changes to the more late night ones, so they're a bit more outrageously dressed.
I guess I'm just trying to keep an eye out for if anybody of obvious note, or somebody that paid certain deference is not
as far as you wouldn't know half of them.
Right.
And about halfway through, you hear something go clack 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 from above you. Clack clack clack.
Who's up there? I look up.
Yeah, you see it's the familiar face. The one you saw the night before.
Oh. You got something to say?
Domkov.
Sorry, no sprechen.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
9?
I'm just gonna wave at him and try and be really friendly because he seems interesting. And also,
He sort of says, werewolves bad. And then the head disappears.
Yeah.
And the head appears again. Little one, next time I'll kick you. And he disappears again.
me?
Head appears again. You heard me. Next time I kick.
Were you the one that stepped on my foot?
It's lucky I didn't chop your foot off, little one.
But I didn't do anything. I don't understand what I did wrong. I just asked a question.
Questions are dangerous.
How am I supposed to know who you are if I don't ask who you are?
Because I'm no one. Just a shattered...
Everybody is someone.
He looks
He
at
obviously
you.
doesn't want to be known, Marie.
I don't really care if he wants to be known or not. I want to know who he is.
He starts ranting in German.
You can rant in your funny language all you want. Doesn't mean stepping on my foot was nice. It was rude.
I think it's time for us to go. Let's meet James back in the hotel.
Fine.
Yeah, and the head disappears.
All right. Yeah. So we just go back to the hotel at this point, I think.
Yep, nothing else sort of happens untowards. Now, James hunting. Now, let's have a look. How many hours are you hunting for?
3, 4.
Yep.
Unfortunately, my condition means I have to hunt a lot more than most vampires.
I won't be that unkind to you.
While that's happening, I'll be back in a minute.
Yep. 5 points of blood.
Wait, whilst this going, we should all just like blow up his character.
Ooh, that's a point. Did he bring it down? No, he didn't. Oh, well, we can get that sorted out afterwards. I'm going to use this quickly to go and get a drink of water, if you don't mind.
No problem.
Yeah. Oh, bloody warm.
You're going to get us killed, you young lady. Is your headset on mic mute? Because I can't hear you talking now.
Right, I'm back. Oh, that was. As he said, it's getting a bit warm.
Have you got your windows open? 'Cause I
Oh,
know
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm
have.
sitting right next to my window, and I'm actually getting a bit chilly.
Yeah, we also have.
Breeze up this way.
We have 3 PCs on here. One server, one PC above the desk, and another one. Partners.
That would do it.
Yeah, 3 machines in here.
Yeah, I've got my machine, and then in the next room, David's got his.
Oh yeah, they're all in here so that dogs can't get near them.
Yeah, that makes sense. We have
Yes.
neither dogs nor children, so
Yeah, so we. Oh, I'll leave that open.
the only thing he ever has to worry about is me getting near them, and considering one of them's mine,
Right.
it's a worry.
Okay, so you get back to the hotel with little or no issues. You get 5 blood, and the rest of the evening tends to. If you don't want to do anything, it will be a fairly uneventful evening.
I like the idea of uneventful.
Yeah. So, do you have?
But the other guy isn't here yet, so I don't think we should make big decisions yet.
Oh,
No.
I'm here. I just got back.
Okay, cool.
It's up to yourselves if you want to do anything more this evening.
I'm gonna the rest of the evening. I'm gonna phone around to. I have contact 1, which will be like for.
Oh, you're phoning for
My
silver bullets.
Yeah, I'm trying to see whether or not I can get the stuff I need to kind of do my own silver bullets, because finding a Colt 45 silver bullet is going to be interesting. So I'll probably end up having to press my own.
Yeah, bullet maker. Actually, that's actually that's. Yeah, there are
Do you have-
kits.
Do you
They
have
do it in
craft
America.
roll?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
fairly easy. And any silver jewelry, it's actually relatively cheap anyway.
Right.
And it's just a matter of you just melting it down. As they said, I know they make their own bullets. I know Americans make their own bullets because they do it for target shooting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the kits will be there. So you're fairly easy to find bits and pieces to make.
Which is a whole different world of worrying, but there we go.
Not getting paranoid at all.
I'm not being paranoid. I'm being prepared.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
What's the difference between paranoid and prepared, though?
Having a Markavian at your side.
That's being prepared.
That is true. That is
With a
prepared.
little bit of paranoia added in between.
You know, Markavian's abilities are basically 95% paranoia anyway.
True. Or
95% paranoia and 10% having read the Book of Nod by mistake.
I'm not too sure the incarnate. I don't know what book he read, but it certainly wasn't that one.
What, the Book of Nod?
He read something else.
They read something far weirder. I've read the Book of Nod. The Book of Nod is very cool.
Yeah, we have a copy. We have a copy in the house.
Yeah, I think I've got the copy they produced.
It's very pretty. All the blood. Skeletal remains.
It's only a small version of the book. It's the one they did ages ago. Oh, those bits I'm not going to run. What a time. Actually, we got enough time to do the last bit, because the last bit I was going to do. And this is purely off the top of my head. I should have figured this out very quickly. So, the next evening you lose 1 blood. Regain any 1 willpower point if you used it, as in from the rest.
Go back down to wounded.
Yep. And what was the other one? Nothing else. You wake up the evening again in a hotel. Again, no nasty surprises, no notes under the door, which is a good start. That always winds my other player characters up. Someone's leaving a note under the door. And yeah, no messages, nobody waiting outside the door. And just a meeting at
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock at the Art Institute. It is actually a big building. You will not miss it. Just by Lake Michigan, and it's not very far away from where you're staying. And strangely tonight, you will get a quiet walk to the building.
Now, Marie, this is an art section. No colouring in any of the arts.
That's fine. It's already boring anyway. And I will have dressed up in my best dress, which is my least dirty and holy dress.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I made an effort tonight.
Yes,
I guess I'll use the hotel, the iron that's provided in the hotel to actually iron the wrinkles out of my
yes.
out of my suit.
At least you're not meeting a prince, just a group of elders, or you assume are elders. Yep. Okay, I've got to find the appropriate page when I can find. Oh, there it is. Excellent. Right. In actual fact, if you're not doing anything before that, you go to there are gentlemen at the front door. They seem to sort of look at you and open the door and sort of gesture to go in.
Alright.
I'll nod in a thank you and then follow.
I'll tip my hat and walk in.
Yep. And they close the door after you with a boom. And there's sort of various gentlemen standing there who sort of point you in the direction.
Okay, well, they know where we're supposed to go. We don't. We'll follow their cue.
Yeah.
And you sort of go to what you'd think would be a fairly large gallery, outside of which are, some other vampires waiting. And silently one of the men points to a place and sort of indicating that's where you're standing. And these are all heavily suited gentlemen with bulges in places.
Right.
But none of the fun.
I feel really underdressed
Mm-hmm.
in my trench coat.
Yeah. And after a while the door opens and a vampire comes out in a suit and sort of walks off, and door closes, and then you wait for about 5 minutes. Door opens and one of the same gentleman points at you and indicates you go into the room.
Okay. We'll go in.
Yep.
As you go in, there is it is a bit what would be a gallery. At one end there are about 6 seats, at those you see, actually no, there's 5 seats. You see a African lady, the guy you know as Critus, a lady who is she's finely dressed, again immaculate. You see a Malkavian, and you see a child, best described as a child, in a suit.
And we've already been told that he's a Trevere.
Right.
Yep.
The Malkavian piques my interest more than the child, I will admit. Or
Yeah,
piques Mary's interest.
Yeah. And Critter says, approach.
We'll forward, showing deference, because these are the Primogen, so these are the elders.
Right.
As we said, lads, will you please introduce yourselves and what clan you are?
And I'll look to you first, because you are of Clan Venture. You are higher up on the run than me.
Philip Drake, Clan Venture, child of Jean-Michel Durand.
Nice to meet you. Who's next?
I mean, it's not going to be me, so.
I am James Bell of Clan Gangrel, child of Bernard de Clare.
Nice to meet you. And you, child?
Have I written down who my sire is? I don't think I have. Yeah, I haven't. That's fine. I'm Marie Carniver of Clan Malkavian. And then I'm just going to look at the two of you like, I don't know what to say next.
You're very welcome. We appreciate the fact that you have introduced yourselves. We are the Primogen of Chicago. We are, how you might say, keep the peace here. As you know, I am Kritas, the member, the bourgeois, one of the bourgeois, Primogen. He points to the African woman. This is Iniaga, who is of the clan Gangrel. Points to the other lady. This is Annabelle, who is the Primogen of the Tremere. The young gentleman here is Nikolai of the clan Tremere, and the and Khalid obviously is of the clan clan Nosferatu. There is one more Primogen. I believe you met her at the airport, but unfortunately she could not be here tonight. The only thing we ask of you is that you abide by the Masquerade. Any breach of the Masquerade will be met with punishment. Do I make myself clear?
Of course.
Yep.
Very good. Which one of you gentlemen has the letter?
I do. Here.
Would you please? Yeah. And he sort of passes the letter around the Primogen. These gentlemen have come from, I believe, San Francisco. They are, is it hunters in training? I can never remember the term myself. But yeah, who maybe in future could be very useful to ourselves. After all, it would always be nice to have such gentlemen, new blood in and new eyes when hunting certain things. As you gather, or as you said yourselves, this city is, how you say, in a little state of flux at the moment since the unfortunate attack of the werewolves some 3 or 4 years ago, in which our prince was, how you say, eliminated. And after certain events that happened recently, we would or may have certain tasks for yourselves, as in we have a number of neolites who have blatantly broken the Masquerade. The seriousness of their transgressions: one killed a large number of an orphanage, and another one killed a ward in a hospital. And
really?
Oh, really? And they now have laid low. We need to discuss among ourselves if we will use you or not. So once we have come to, how you say, a decision, we may get in contact with you again. Is there any way of us contacting you easily?
Yes, I have a pager. I can provide the
Excellent.
number for.
He sort of clicks to one of the suited men who comes up with a pen and paper. Would you just please write it on there with your name?
I do so.
And he also says, you will need this letter back.
Thank you.
So, thank you for presenting yourselves, and I do hope that your stay in the city will be a fruitful one for both of us.
I'll nod and then take a step forward and say, may I address the Primogen?
You may. You have permission.
As per our initial entering of the city, we have information that, as yourself, may be useful. We have met the Malkavian,
Yes.
we have heard rumours about the one who travels with his companion. He goes by the name of I will butcher this because it is German. Das Fansen, yeah, he just calls him the Madman or something. I'm not sure if it's a direct translation or something. But his companion is not kindred. I feel this is important information for anyone you send after him. His companion has the ability to create a portal of some sort of description. We have witnessed this with our own eyes, that he transported himself and the Malkavian through from within a hotel room to wherever they go.
Thank you very much. Would you just step back for a minute?
Yep.
And they basically all was it going discussion at the moment. They're sort of looking in your direction every few while.
I just
And then-
smile at them every time they look at us.
And they sort of pull back. And Critter sort of motions you come forward.
Step forward.
What would be useful, ladies and gentlemen, lady and gentlemen, if you see if you can find out a little more. This gentleman has been a little troublesome. We believe he's responsible for a number of fairly gruesome murders, which include, crucifixion of people with barbed wire, various murders. One very unusual one of someone who was actually hit in the head with an axe, very neatly indeed. So if you would continue, see how much you can find out about the gentleman, we would greatly appreciate it. We may even reward you.
We will do the best we can, but we did feel this was important. If anyone you sent, you may not have been prepared for such a task.
It does answer a number of questions, though. How he has been moving around and not being seen. So, please go.
Turn around and walk away.
Right.
And as the door opens, and there is a very, a very twisted Nosferatu who comes in. Yes. And he sort of points to the servants. Bring them with me now. Bring them. I want to see them. As you notice, you turn around, the Primogen stood up in deference to this gentleman. And he turns around, and the men come up to you. It says, they sort of indicate that you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
We shuffle out.
And you get sort of bustled in the room, and this gentleman has he has a very twisted body in carpet slippers. His suit's twisted. He walks with a stick. He doesn't walk, and when he sits, it looks like as if he's in pain. He's bald with hair. He looks like the archetypal Nosferatu. I've got to find him. Oh, I know where he is. And he says, "Sit," and points to some chairs.
I will sit down and I will give Marie that look that just says, behave.
I'm slightly offended that he's already assuming I'm going to fail at the task I have been assigned, and I'm going to just stand in the back corner and stare at my shoes.
Does your companion normally do this?
She is a child in all of the words. She is learning. She is a stubborn child of Malkav.
Understandable.
But she will be listening, and she does pay attention. She's a good girl like that.
I am glad to hear that. And he sort of shuffles.
Literally stand up straight up.
He goes and gets a note out and a pen. And he sort of sits there. I am Archon Henkel, and that's all you need to know. You do not know what an Archon is, I assume, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course.
And you do know how to be respectful.
Absolutely, sir.
And you do know the amount of power I have.
I nod.
Good. I'm just going to ask you a few questions because you are new to the city, and I am here to investigate certain things which, to be really frank, at the moment you do not need to know. So, first thing, what is your main reason for coming to the city?
We hope to help in any way we can with the troubles this domain has been experiencing, lending our skills as investigators and hunters when need be.
Do you have any interest in the position of Prince?
No.
Prince? No. Hound? Yes.
Sheriff, perhaps, eventually. But
so you want to visit how you say progress within the Camarilla?
I was a lawman in life, and I want to be a lawman in death.
Yes.
goes the same for myself.
I assume eventually to become an Archon.
Whatever's needed. I don't claim to have a desire to be the top of the chain. I know where my place is.
Always a good thing.
I want to serve.
Always good to hear. And the Malkavian, why are they here?
She is our ward. She is learning, and she has certain a viewpoint due to her nature that we've found helps us in situations.
Mm-hmm.
She spots things that we don't.
He sort of is watching it all very intently. No. So where did you originally come from?
San Francisco.
So you're not from the old world, or have any connection to the old world?
No.
I died in New Mexico. I was born and raised around there.
Same with the child?
Billy killed by Billy Kid.
History. Not of my concern, mortals. So, how do I put this? Do you have any interest in the occult or the such?
I'm learning. It's not something I had in life, but I've slowly been picking up small bits as I live.
Have you heard the term squaring of the circle?
No.
It sounds familiar.
Pardon, child?
It sounds familiar, that's all.
I see. Do the names Marco or Marcello Giovanni Renata
Shake my head.
sound familiar?
No.
The name Giovanni does, but that's because of the clan.
Does the name the Marchese Marco sound familiar?
No.
No.
So you are from where you said. Okay, I have enough. If I do need to question you some more, I will. Are we sort of watching your progress? Out of interest? Now you can go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then do the the step back, and then turn to walk.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. He's.
that deference.
Yeah. He's ignoring you. He's back. He's now back at writing.
Right. So yeah, when we get outside, I kind of like, not that I'm breathing, but like have like that sort of dramatic exhale, and yep, we're either going to be very dead or very popular by the end of the week.
At that point, I think it's a good point to leave it. So, as in about midnight, because as it's give you a chance to think what you want to do next. So, end game at midnight. Okay, it's also a convenient time. I know I'm ending it a little early, but I think you've done a lot this evening.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. There's a lot compressed into a single.
Yeah, they said most of that was all notes. There was very, very little. Someone didn't play, and the last bit was totally made up. I don't think that this will work like scenes, but I'll have to write overviews on what's happened so I do not get lost in that.
Right.
And also, I'm starting to overheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's all right.
Yeah, this is definitely